All right, let's talk about it. Finding a place to live in Seoul, man, if you've ever tried it, you know it can feel like a total nightmare, right? So overwhelming, but don't worry, we're about to make sense of all that chaos. Yeah, this is it. That feeling of just endless scrolling, getting nowhere fast. But I promise you, by the time we're done here, you're going to feel confident enough to go from just browsing to actually signing that lease, knowing exactly what you're getting into. So before we even get to the fun stuff like cool neighborhoods or how big the closets are, there's this one huge decision you gotta make first. And it's something totally unique to renting in Korea. It's the foundation for everything else. So first up, we've got something called jeonse. Now, think of it like this. You hand over a massive one-time deposit. Yeah, we're talking enough to buy a nice car. And in return, you basically live rent-free for the entire lease. Then you get it all back when you move out. It's an amazing deal if you happen to have a lot of cash saved up and you're planning on staying put for a while. And then there's wolse. This is probably what you're more used to, right? You pay a much smaller, more reasonable deposit, and then you just have a set rent payment each month. This is the go-to for most students, people new to the city, or really anyone who'd rather not have their life savings locked up in a deposit. So how do you choose? Well, it really just boils down to your situation. On one hand, you've got jeonse, needs a ton of cash up front but has almost no monthly cost, making it perfect for long-term stays. And on the other hand, you've got wolse, way less cash needed to get in, but you'll have that monthly rent payment. It's all about flexibility. And the numbers don't lie. These days, something like 6 out of every 10 renters in Seoul, they're going with wolse. It just goes to show you that flexibility is king right now, probably because of things like interest rates and just, people wanting to be able to move around more easily. So if that's where you're leaning, hey, you're in good company. All right, so once you've got that big financial decision out of the way, now we get to the really fun part, picking your neighborhood. And this is so much more than just a spot on a map. It's about finding where you belong. First, let's look at Mapo-gu. This place is just buzzing. It's the creative soul of the city, packed with indie cafes, live music, and a super young vibe. I love this one story from the source material. The author had a neighbor who'd played jazz at 11 at night, and thankfully, he was actually really good. I mean, that's Mapo in a nutshell. Okay, next up, Sangsu-dang. You'll hear people call it the Brooklyn of Seoul, and for good reason. It's got this amazing industrial chic vibe, with old factories turned into these incredible art galleries and cafes. All those spacious, loft-style spots make it an absolute dream for the work-from-home crowd. And of course, we've got Yongsan. This area just feels global. It's super cosmopolitan, has these beautiful parks right by the river, and a much calmer atmosphere. It's a huge hotspot for expats for a reason, offering a bit of peace in a bustling city. So, here's where it all comes together. This table is your cheat sheet. But listen, the best piece of advice I can give you straight from the source is this. Figure out your subway line first. Seriously, your daily commute is going to shape your life here more than almost anything else. Once you've got that locked down, then you can use this to find the neighborhood with the vibe and the price tag that feels right for you. All right, so you've got your rental type, you've got your dream neighborhood, but what's it really going to cost you? Because let's be honest, the price on the listing is never the full story, is it? First thing you've got to budget for is the broker's fee. It's a one-time thing, and for most apartments in Seoul, you're probably looking at somewhere between, say, 200,000 and 700,000 won. And here's the good part. These fees aren't just pulled out of thin air. They're actually regulated by law, which means there's a cap. And it also means you can and should negotiate. Just make sure you confirm that final number with your broker before you put pen to paper. And please, whatever you do, do not forget about the other hidden costs. You've got your monthly maintenance fee, which can be surprisingly high in those newer office tells, then your utilities, and of course, the actual cost of moving. You gotta add all of that up to know what you're truly spending each month. Okay, listen up, because this section might just be the most important one of all. We're talking about protecting your deposit. Whether it's a smaller wolse deposit or a huge jeonse one, that's your money. And these next steps are like 3 shields to make sure you get it back. Okay, so there are 3 things you absolutely positively have to do, no excuses. Number 1, check the property register. Make sure the landlord is who they say they are. Number 2, take your contract to the local community center and get a fixed date stamp. And number 3, file your move-in report. Doing these 3 things is what gives you legal standing as a tenant. And if you're thinking, that sounds like a hassle, I'm too busy. Just listen to this story. A friend of the author skipped getting that stamp because they were busy. You know how long it takes? 3 minutes. Being busy could cost you your entire deposit. A stamp costs almost nothing. The math is pretty simple on that one. And hey, if you want one more layer of protection, and I'd seriously think about it for a big jeonse deposit, you can look into getting deposit return insurance. Hug is a popular one. It's just an amazing safety net to have for peace of mind. So, as we're wrapping this all up, I want you to think about this whole process a little differently. It's not just about renting an apartment, it's about buying back hours of your life. Because really, in a city as huge and fast-paced as Seoul, your time is everything. A shorter commute, a neighborhood that makes you feel alive, that's a direct investment in your own happiness. So the real question you need to ask yourself isn't just, how much is the rent? It's, what is my time worth?